My name is Mark Stafford. I'm a senior designer at the LEGO Group, and I've been recently working on Jurassic World sets. The set consists of a large Tyrannosaurus Rex and the iconic Jurassic Park gate with several vignettes hidden away in the back of it, which are all call-outs to famous scenes from the movies. And there are 6 unique minifigures. We decided to go back to the Jurassic universe with the new movies. There was a very large grey dinosaur which was built by Mike Psyche in the creator area, and he was very keen on this becoming a creator set, and we stole it. And we basically said, let's see if we can get a Jurassic World set out of this. So there was a lot of iterations around the head. I have dozens and dozens just to get the head right. And then I started working on the body and the hip joint so the legs could stay upright. And then the whole weight of the dinosaur comes down to the ankles. The tail was pretty much as Mike had built it on the grey one. I mean, from the beginning, the tail just looked beautiful. I didn't want to mess with it. I just changed the colours and introduced the striping. It's not minifigure scale. They're both considerably larger, I think, than minifigure scale would be, and they go quite well in the vignettes built into the back of the gate, but they're not really to scale with what's at the front, and definitely not with the T-Rex. He can swallow them in one bite, and as we saw in the movie, it takes 2 bites normally.
So we have the 2 carryover figures that are Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant, but the new figures will be John Hammond, and then we will also have Ray Arnold in his white lab coat. And then you will get maybe a lot of people's favorites, that is Ian Malcolm from his iconic scene after it got injured, after it got chased by the T-Rex, where he'll be laying with like an open shirt. And then the last one is Dennis Nedry from his scene where he has his fatal encounter with the Dilophosaurus. And he has 2 faces, and if you turn the other one around, then he would have like the Dilophosaurus spit on his face. And that's a detail I very much like.
We have several scenes from the movie which are paid homage to. There's a toilet in the back. There is a computer switching room where Ellie has to turn the switches back on. When you build the dinosaur and you lift his head all the way up, there's a bit of a crack in his neck, like a gap. And watching the movie, I noted they said that the gaps in the DNA were filled with a frog DNA. So I actually put a frog inside the dinosaur. You know, I watched that movie so many times, and I just knew there had to be a frog somewhere in the dinosaur.
It was fun to figure out how to do the Jurassic Park sign, because it had to interact with how Mark built it. And also on the back, where Mark has all these small builds built in the gate, I had to do like the screens for Ray Arnold's computer. One of them is the one called the blue screen of death. It's like when the computer just crashes. And also, of course, there's the big information plate with information about the T-Rex. The T-Rex actually has not typical lizard pupils. It just have like really round eyes. So that was something that was very important to get for this iconic creature.
Designing this set, I think the most enjoyable thing was when it finally stood up and stayed stood up. Its feet didn't lean forwards or give way. It is now a very stable model, and just the fact that it looks very organic, and yet it's made out of Lego blocks which are square. I'm really happy that came together. I think people will like this set because it has a lot of the classic Jurassic Park feel to it. I hope it's obvious how much I love the original movie, and that I've paid homage to it where I can with the vignettes and everything else, and they will be surprised by some of the Easter eggs I haven't mentioned, some of the little details which I've managed to slip in there, and also I hope it'll be a really nice building experience. It's what I try to do for the kids when I design for them, and I wanted to bring that to the adult sets, that every piece you pick up, it should feel obvious where it goes on the model, that building flow. I really hope I've brought a nice building flow to this. Every time I see one of my models in the shops, it blows me away, because just 6 months or a year ago, the only place this existed was on my desk at work. And to see it in a shop, it's always like, oh, what's this doing here? How did this get here? And I know it's because there's thousands of people at LEGO who went away and started the molding machines up and the building instructions being printed and the packing being done and the boxes being loaded. And it just astonishes me that what I did on my desk is produced. That the rest of LEGO does such a good job at making sure it sits there on the shelf.